This is update for June 12, 2022, day 109 of the war, end of the date update. So let's just jump straight into walk through the front line, and we're gonna do in a clockwise fashion, and we're gonna start from the very north. So this section of the front, well, we can call it maybe front line at this point. It's essentially area of exchange of artillery fire and mortar fire from both sides, sometimes even rocket fire. So it's low intensity conflict, let's put this way. Now let's move down south to Kharkiv, where it's just one notch higher from what's going on in the north. So here we have fighting by their actual troops here, and on both sides, obviously, but it's low intensity fighting, as we discussed many times. It's units that are smaller than company size, and the whole purpose of the fighting here is for Ukrainian side is to push Russian side back to the state border, and Russian side wants to keep the buffer here in this area. So we're seeing different sort of locations where they're fighting, different villages, like from this Tsupivka, then never-ending fighting for Ternova, then attacks towards Staritsa, then Liptsi, Veliki Prohody. So essentially the whole area is just low intensity fighting. Then let's keep going. Let's see what's going on at the Izyum bridgehead, where there were recent negative developments for Ukrainian side. This is high-level overview of units that are present that we are aware of on Izyum bridgehead. The white ones are the Russian mechanized brigades, and the orange ones are all kind of various Ukrainian brigades, but most of them are airborne, and some of them regular mechanized brigades, such as 93rd and 14 is actually not here anymore. So now let's actually jump in and see what's going on. So over past 2 days, Russian side made some progress here by increasing the size of the bridgehead. So now they directly facing village Krasnopilya, and then there's village Dolina here. So they're both in Ukrainian side, but at this point it's very clear that they move forward, and then they captured Boghorodechne. Then we mentioned that they were trying to do attempts to establish bridgeheads in 3 locations here on this peninsula. So this is not confirmed, and we just want to share this. And we're not taking it at face value, but what Russian sources are saying, that they captured fully village Pryshyb here, and that the fighting is still going on here for village Tetyanivka and village Sydorove. Let's just wait. It remains to be seen. Based on Ukrainian sources, this is not correct. So all of the bridgeheads were basically destroyed and thrown back. But we'll probably find out in a day or two. But there is no independent verification, not even like independent, but another source that could confirm anything that's going on here. Now let's keep going to Severodonetsk salient, where there is also intense fighting going on. So there was a sort of relatively big development in Severodonetsk. So let's actually jump in there. So there was important development, and basically Russian troops managed to finally destroy the bridge here. That was the main supply route for Ukrainian troops in we couldn't even say in the town. It's essentially this small bridgehead that essentially that it's pretty much just this industrial chemical complex. So as you can imagine, supplying Ukrainian troops here is going to be super challenging, super difficult, and it also creates another problem that withdrawal of Ukrainian troops from this bridgehead will be super difficult and super challenging. This is the number of troops here is less than 500 initially was about 500. So probably at this point, 300, maybe 450. We don't know for sure. The other additional problem here that this road here is kind of little open. So if you are withdrawing and without any cover, it's going to be hard to withdraw along this road. So they will have to kind of think about other creative ways how to do it. I mean, the river is not like insurmountable in terms of crossing it, even just swimming across. And essentially, there is no like really heavy equipment, heavy weapons here. Anyways, it's all basically light infantry fighting in this area. But nevertheless, the supply of now essentially there is no supply to these troops here. So very logical to assume that Ukrainian troops will withdraw from this bridgehead, but remains to be seen. Now let's go back. Let's see what's going on around Popasna area. So there was no progress by Russian side, but there was extremely heavy pressure in towards Vrubivka here from actually both sides of from this direction, and then from north from Kamyshevacha in this direction. So there was extremely heavy pressure, and there was heavy pressure in this area, Berestove, Bilogorivka. But so far Ukrainian front line held. Let's now go look what's going on here. So this is a little bit more zoomed in map. So basically our typical area of Russian pressure is Bilogorivka, Nayirne, Berestove, and then obviously Mykolaiivka. This is Mykolaiivka here. So this is all area of attacks, and also attacks towards Vrubivka, which is this one from this side, and then from this side. So from both sides they're trying to create pressure, because that's another sort of like a piece of foundation that holds, if you look at this, if you go back, that sort of helps to keep this Ukrainian salient around Zolote. So if Russian troops manage to capture this area, it's essentially, well, we couldn't say guaranteed, but nearly guaranteed that Ukrainian troops will need to withdraw from this Zolote salient, or there is very high threat of the encirclement. And in any case, the supply will be under artillery control, which means that the only way to supply will be at night. So it will be extremely difficult and challenging. But so far, this village is still holding on. Now let's look a little bit towards sort of southern section of Popasna salient. No progress here in the south, and again, no progress here after capture of Dolomitne that Russian troops captured yesterday. So kind of front line for now stable, but it's very obvious that the next axis of attack here will be to capture encircle Ukrainian soldiers in this area. There is a town called Novoluhansk here, so it's very clear to assume that Russian troops will try to kind of attack this way to basically encircle these Ukrainian troops here. Remains to be seen if that's going to be possible. Let's keep going. Now let's see what's going on west of Donetsk. It's just artillery shelling, no major attacks, some sort of relatively weak attacks towards New York, but essentially that's all it is here at this point. Our take on this is that Russian side basically pulled all of the troops that were sort of not busy from this area to create significant advantage near Popasna. For that reason, we mentioned that we believe that 61st Naval Infantry Brigade was transferred from here, which was the major source of attacks on the town of Avdiivka. It was pulled, and it's operating near Popasna. Now let's keep going. Let's now move to Zaporizhzhia front line. Here is everything again stable, frozen. artillery shelling, but no really major progress or any kind of major attacks or counteroffensive or anything. Essentially, the front line has frozen and been frozen for probably 2 months at this point. This is just for those who are new. This is Russian wedge that they built sometime in the middle of April, when they tried to encircle Ukrainian troops in the bigger Donbass salient. This is Donbass. This is what we call Donbass salient. This area is Donbass salient, and the Russian troops tried to encircle Ukrainian troops, obviously in this Donbass salient. And the southern pincer was where we showed you that wedge was the attempt to create southern pincer, which was obviously not successful, and the northern pincer was Izyum, which also didn't materialize. Now let's move to Kherson front line. Situation there is stable, just positional fighting, artillery shelling, and so on. Digging trenches, preparing basically for defense by both sides. After Ukrainian attempt to do small-scale offensive from Davydiv Brid didn't succeed, the situation here is sort of stable and doesn't change. So this is a little bit closer look at this Davydiv Brid area and Snyhurivka. This was the area of major fighting about starting from early June, but it's been quiet for past 3 or 4 days here. Essentially, the both sides kind of didn't reach their goals, so the front line stabilized. And for now, we believe that both sides don't have resources to continue active fighting in this area unless Ukraine brings new brigades, which we don't think they are ready for the lack of heavy weapons. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and until tomorrow, bye bye.